You know, Soupy the comment cat may get all the attention, but there's another cat in the gameological family, Nipsey the... What is Nipsey's job?
Nipsey the judgment caster.
The judgment caster?
Watching you play games and shaking their little cat head at the fact that you're not outside. That could be Nipsey's job.
So I just wanted to give Nipsey a little screen time, and he's misbehaving like those pets used to misbehave on The Price is Right. Remember when they used to bring out the dog and be like, you can adopt this dog, and the dog would just be all fidgety.
And it's like, I don't want the dog. The boat. I want the boat.
I want a well-behaved dog or a new car. So, bye Nipsey. Thanks for visiting. This is the digest, by the way, where
I want to point out that Nipsey landed on his feet. It's real. It's real.
Yes, from an altitude. Thank you for interrupting my intro to point out that a cat lands on its feet, Steve. Hey, this isn't freaking zoo books, all right? It's the digest. Our snack for today is another cereal bar that we're dreading.
Oh God.
Because yesterday we had the Honey Nut Cheerios cereal bar, and it was pretty awful.
Yes, yesterday. I've had time to flush it from my system in the 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. I can still taste it. So let's try the Cinnamon Toast Crunch milk and cereal bars.
Butter.
Really? Oh,
Slightly.
okay. Let me crack into mine.
Because here's the thing. Honey Nut Cheerios doesn't really taste like anything, ever. And this actually tastes like something. It's still really stale. It's still cardboardy. But at least it tastes like cinnamon.
Yeah, it's like 50% preservatives.
I just want to think that General Mills has a whole warehouse full of cereal and has nothing to do with it, and they're like, oh, put it into a rectangle. Yeah. We'll sell it. People will buy it in rectangular form.
Just smush it into some sort of bar shape. Mm-hmm. Do we have anything else to talk about today? I forget. Oh, video games, right? Mm-hmm. So let's talk about Dyad. People talk about tunnel vision like it's a bad thing. Not in Dyad. The tunnels of this game are vibrant and beautiful, like having the iTunes visualizer of the future beamed directly into your brain. With pulsing music that turns the affair into a cylindrical rave, you race down the tube, slingshotting and lancing and otherwise tormenting your enemies in the pursuit of speed. There are a number of different ways to come at Dyad, from the very difficult trophy challenges to the laid-back remix modes, where failure is impossible and the object is just to let the tunnel wash over you. This is one of those games that, like I reviewed Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery last year, and I said this about that game, and I'll say it about this one. This is a game that I admire a hell of a lot. And then I look at it and I see the artistry, and it's really beautiful. The colors are amazing, and it's like watching a really good VJ at work. And I admire the artistry. It did not, though, touch me in a way that I expected it to. I didn't really get into a groove with it, and I guess as I did with Super Brothers, I don't get a sense of an artist or any sensibility on the other end of it making a connection with me. Did you? So what did you think?
I kind of feel the same way. We should point out at first that the way that you progress in this game, so you're being shot down a tunnel, and you click on 2 of the same color molecules to get a boost of speed. Mm-hmm. So the goal is to get to the end of the level with a certain amount of within a certain amount of time.
Right. So there's little orbs coming down the tunnel at you, and you'll have to grab like a blue and a blue, and that'll speed you up. You sort of slingshot yourself past them.
Right. And there's all different colors, so you have to sort of meticulously find them. Mm-hmm. And at one point in the game, it actually says, be meticulous and don't just hit the button a bunch. Actually try to be deliberate in your moves. Mm-hmm. And I tried. And eventually it just devolved into me hitting the button a bunch because I was actually getting somewhere doing that. Mm. And maybe that's why it failed to grab me, was that there was such chaos in the game that it was so easy to just kind of fall into. It felt like almost like I was watching a screensaver, and in the way that like I'm not interacting with the game. When I chose to try to be deliberate, it was fun and it was interesting, but I wasn't really getting anywhere. I got roughly the same place, if not further, by just hitting the buttons and mashing it and flying through this like Hadron Collider or whatever it is.
Right. And I think the way to master it probably is to be deliberate, right? Yeah. But the problem for me was that I didn't feel like mastering it. Mm-hmm. I already felt overwhelmed simply by being fairly mediocre at it, you know, which is, you know, I played through it and everything, but I didn't get 3 stars on everything. I certainly did not get all of the trophies, which we'll get to, those are especially difficult. You You know, frankly, it just comes down to a matter of taste. Like, I can't sit here as a critic and say that this game is functionally deficient anyway, because I really don't feel that it is. I actually feel it's really well designed.
Well, I think maybe one of the problems is that so there's 3 stars max on each of the levels.
Right. The Angry Birds.
Yeah,
model.
exactly. To get 3 stars, you have to work extremely hard. And to get 2 stars, you can just work a little. It reminds me of when I was in college and a friend of mine was studying for an intro to psych test with me. And I studied for 45 minutes and was like, okay, I'm good. And she was like, seriously, that's all you're gonna do? And she studied the entire night, like 8-9 hours, didn't sleep. She got an A- and I got a B+. And she like rubbed it in my face, like, see, this is what happens when you work really hard. And I was like, no, I'm okay with my B+. I'm okay getting a full night's sleep on 45 minutes of studying. And I kind of felt like that way with Dyad, where I can just play a little and get 2 stars, but I had to play a lot to be that good to get 3 stars. And so
once you get to those middle levels, 3 stars starts to become.
Oh yeah. And I guess it boils down to like the way that we play games. Like, I'm not as much of a perfectionist about getting 3 on everything. I just wanted to see the new levels and to experience the new things that they were going to throw at me. And when I realized that there wasn't really that much more beyond the initial concept, I started to kind of check out, and that's when I started being okay with 2 stars, occasionally being okay with 1 star. And
I think that's a great point, though, because I am more of a perfectionist, and you can ruin a game for yourself if you are a perfectionist. And I started to do just what you gave up on probably sooner than I did, is I wanted to have the 3-star experience. I wanted to feel like I had mastered the level, and I think that may not be the best way to approach this particular game. I think you were right to just look for the new experiences and feel and see everything the game has to offer. Well, there's no one right way, but I think I would have been better served by going through and seeing everything it had to offer first, and then really pursuing the ones that sort of synced up with my emotion the most. Well, tomorrow we're going to get a big thing done, which is we're going to win the presidency with the Political Machine 2012. At least I won the presidency. I don't know about you, Steve. And we're also going to knock off the last of these cereal bars whose wrappers are piling up. So we'll see you tomorrow for a discussion of the Political Machine 2012. Thanks for watching. So long for now.